Hello, and welcome to Live Vedanta, a podcast about simple living and high thinking. Okay, before we dive in, a little bit of storytelling. So, I don't know about you, but I'm in a season right now where I'm attending a lot of weddings. And it's an absolute delight to celebrate the deepening of a relationship in this very specific way. And yet, sometimes I wish I had a gift that I could offer that was just as deep and authentic as what I was witnessing as a guest. And that's why I was so excited to know that Vivekji has just released our Sacred Union. Now, this is for couples who don't want their marriage to slip into routine, but to become a sacred place for mutual growth. And across Sacred Union's 10 workshops, you'll learn how to balance material, emotional, and spiritual needs while navigating conflict with more safety and deepening intimacy with purpose. But what I deeply appreciate is that it brings ancient wisdom to life for modern couples, translating Vedanta into practice. One might say it's about living Vedanta. And in each module, you'll be able to watch something, read something, and practice something with your partner to better internalize it. So I am not going to give it all away. I want you to go to oursacredunion.com to check it out yourself. Okay, in today's episode though, we're continuing to explore the 70 most essential verses of the Shrimad Bhagavad Gita. The Shrimad Bhagavad Gita is a map to self-development. And today we're exploring chapter 2, verse 11, in which we learn that our nature is true joy. Let's tune in.
The teachings of the Bhagavad Gita begin in chapter 2, verse 11. There are 57 verses that set up the context. Then we get into the content. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Ashochan Anvashochastvam Prajnavadamscha Bhashase Gatasun Agatasunscha Nanushocanti Panditaha. Joy. A whole lot of joy. The first quarter, Ashochan, grieving for those who don't need to be grieved for. Anvashochaha, you are grieving. And he's specific. Tvam. You, not me. So the first quarter of these teachings is this shock statement. You are a fool. You are grieving even though you shouldn't be grieving. Look at me. I'm not grieving. I think it's Bobby McFerrin who sings the song, Don't Worry, Be Happy. And at the end of the song, after he keeps singing, he goes, look at me, I'm happy. That's what Sri Krishna is doing to Prince Arjuna right now. Now opening this up for us. Sri Krishna is surely stating this from a historical perspective. That the people you are going to fight, they are not good for society. They are a slow cancer. For anyone who's been through a disease, when that's purged out of your system, do you cry? I miss you, headache. Please come back, appendix. Right? You're happy that it's not there. So there is a historical reference. But here's the more philosophical one. Your nature is joy. So then, shochati, which means sorrow, or expressions of that, stress, anxiety, dejection. This is unnatural. Your nature is joy. Then anything that's against that has to be unnatural. Most of us were born in good health. So when our health becomes poor, it's unnatural. That's why we take medicine. That's why we have treatment. If that poor health was natural, we would feel better because of it. We wouldn't try to change it. Next, Pragnavadan, wisdom, bhashase, yet you are speaking words of wisdom. You are acting like you know, even though you are feeling sorrow. There's a hypocrisy there. You're saying one thing, but thinking another thing. That comes out very strongly in chapter 3. And here, the historical references in chapter 1, in the beginning of chapter 2, Prince Arjuna gives great arguments for why this war should not happen. But he's not approaching this objectively. He's not. That's why he's feeling shochati. Many who take up Bhagavad Gita take this up in a scholarly way. They want to know the tune of every meter. They want to memorize all the verses. They want to know every system. They take up Bhagavad Gita as an objective science. What they study and what they feel don't have to be aligned. Here Sri Krishna is sharing, this is a subjective science. What you're studying, you have to feel also. The problem is inside, so the work has to happen inside. Third quarter, gatasun, those whose breath is gone, those who have died. Agatasun, those whose breath is not gone, those who are alive. You are sorrowful even though you shouldn't be, because it's not your nature. Yet, you're speaking like you're not sorrowful. You are sorrowful for those who are alive, those who are not alive. This third quarter's zooming into our sorrow comes from humans. It is the loss of humans that causes us the most sorrow. You lose your car, it's not pleasant. You lose your job, it's less pleasant. If you lose a human, a family member, that's the least pleasant. Shri Krishna is trying to portray here, whether it's a job or a car or a job or a human, they are all subject to change. Everything outside of you is subject to change. If you know it's not going to stay, if you feel this, you won't feel sorrow. And so the last quarter, this is the quarter that is offering the guidance. Na anushochanti panditaha. Panditaha, those who know their nature is full, na, they do not. Anushochanti, they don't cry, they don't feel sorrow. What is the message of Bhagavad Gita? Don't worry. That's in the negative, but in the positive, be happy. Because that's your nature. And now there'll be a huge elaboration of this, a systematic elaboration. The more you know about your nature, the more you will love your nature, the more you will be your nature. We are working on knowing this, that's Karma Yoga. Then loving this, that's Bhakti Yoga. And finally, being this, that is Jnana Yoga. That is the flow of the Bhagavad Gita. And Prince Arjuna follows this. And so are we. Bhagavad Gita, I was thinking about these words a lot yesterday. This is often defined as divine song, which makes sense. What if we change these words to Bhagavad means evolution, and Gita means systematic. Evolution, systematic, but you have to think about this in English. Bhagavad Gita is systematic evolution. This map, this is a manual on systematic evolution. The first chapter of systematic evolution is the setting. We took up 2 important verses from the setting. The second chapter is the syllabus for this systematic evolution. We took up verse 7, we took up verse 11. The system starts in verse 11. Shri Krishna shares, specifically in the last quarter, Na anushochanti panditaha. Please try to remember these 3 words. Na anushochanti panditaha. I'm going to layer the Sanskrit now with English. No sorrow wise. Now, connecting the English, the wise are not sad. Those who are wise do not feel sad. They do not feel dejection, anxiety, stress. I'm going to layer this in one more way. Whenever the word no is used in self-development, the mind puts up defense mechanisms to not follow this. Like a forbidden fruit, correct? So sharing this in the assertive or the positive, the wise are joy. The wise know they are joy. The wise love that they are joy. The wise are being joy. This is the Bhagavad Gita in 1 quarter. Wise are joy. Right now, we don't feel this. And Shri Krishna is trying to make the feeling of stress, anxiety, and dejection unnatural. We have come to normalize this. He's trying to guide us to feel this is unnatural. Your nature is the exact opposite. Not stress, anxiety, dejection, but rather existence, awareness, joy. The way that we will start to feel this is by intentionally burning down our comfort zones. The word yoga means intention. If you intend to burn your comfort zone, you will start to remember who you are. That your nature is awareness. But if you stay in your comfort zone, you will continue to ferment the idea, and it's just an idea, that your nature is not joy. But if you intend, if you are a disciple, you are ready to change, then in every verb you engage in, you will intend that my nature is joy. You will remember this until you don't need to remember this. You will just feel this. How many of you are clear? How many of you have conviction in what I've shared so far? By show of hands. This is you. Sharing one more reflection before we move on to the next verse. For those who respect, love, revere Pujaswami Chinmayananda, one of the names that we describe him by is Nitya Shuddha Buddha Mukta. I've been thinking a lot about these words. Nitya means comprehensively. Nitya Shuddha, that's step one. By comprehensively living in an intentional way. That is the first part of Bhagavad Gita, or Karma Yoga. From that Shuddha comes the Buddha. When you know more about divinity, when you know more about joy, you will love this. That's the second part of Bhagavad Gita, Bhakti Yoga. And when we love this, whatever you love, you start to become. That's the Mukta or the Jnana Yoga part of the Bhagavad Gita. Karma Yoga, Bhakti Yoga, Jnana Yoga. It is purifying and loving and being.
To dive deeper into essential love, go to the show notes and click the link to request your free copy of our ebook. The Essential Love ebook includes a dedicated page for each verse that we cover here on the podcast. It includes a structured approach to learn, synthesize, and reflect on the divine teachings. And of course, if you've liked what you've heard, share this episode with a friend. Leave us a review on Apple Podcasts or Spotify, or find us online at chinmayaniagara.com or CM Niagara on Facebook and Instagram. This podcast is produced by seekers from Chinmaya Mission Niagara. Until next time, inspire, love, be.